Believers and non-believers often agree about the way the world is, and yet they disagree about the significance of this evidence in terms of what it means for the existence of God. In one sense they see the same world, and yet in another sense they see a completely different world. The philosopher Ludwig Wittgenstein distinguished seeing from seeing as. He claimed that when we see things, we don't just see things, we interpret what we see as we are seeing it. One example of this is the Necker cube. You don't see an ambiguous picture of meaningless lines, you see one cube or the other. This shows that you don't just see, you see as. The philosopher John Wisdom presented the parable of the gardener, in which he illustrated how belief in God is a matter of seeing as.
Yo, man. Yo, I started sick, man. You gotta be a gardener, bro.
Forget that. Look at those weeds, bro.
I don't know, bro. I think it's a gardener.
Oh, they don't look a gardener.
Black on campus is a gardener.
Look at this tree stump in the middle of nowhere, bro.
Shut up, man.
Like there ain't no tree.
I mean, no, it's a gardener. Cut it down, idiot.
As both the believer and the non-believer can see the same evidence here, the disagreement is over the interpretation of the evidence, seeing as. The philosopher Antony Flew argued that detaching belief in God from the evidence like this makes the claim God exists meaningless. He used a modified gardener parable to illustrate this.
Let's go, bro.
Yo, we've been here for 2 hours, man. We should have seen a gardener by now.
Sure, man. You going to let you don't know he's invisible.
Like he ain't invisible. If he was invisible, that dog would have smelt him by now.
He's odorless, bro. He's odorless.
Against Flew, Richard Hare uses the parable of the paranoid student to argue that factual claims that can't be falsified can still be very meaningful.
Are you on your teacher's hit list? Do you think he's out to get you? Well, call our paranoid student hotline. Here's one of our victims.
It was horrible. He said he wanted to kill me, and he keeps trying, and no one believes me.
Okay.
I'm going to kill you.
But is that really what happened?
Hey, well done, Isaac. That looks like an A grade. Well done, man.
Basil Mitchell disagrees that religious beliefs are unfalsifiable and uses the parable of the resistance fighter to illustrate this.
Yeah, I'm on your side.
But I've seen you with that other man.
No, I just can't know what to do. Can we?
When you hear them sirens come here, I can hear them sirens come here.
I'm sure he's still on our side. But we've seen him with the others. Hit the dog!
John Hick claimed that religious beliefs can only be falsified in the afterlife when you reach the celestial city, heaven, or the canteen.
I'm sure as hell there's a canteen at the end of this corridor.
We've been walking for so long, I ain't even sure if there's a canteen.
When we get there, we'll know the canteen exists.
How come nobody ever comes out of the canteen? Excuse me, mister, you just come out of the canteen?
No, just been to the toilet.
Well, we'll only find out when we round that last corner.
Will there be rabbits in the canteen, George?
So, people can be presented with the same evidence of the world, and yet draw different conclusions as to whether God exists. One explanation for this is that the claim God exists is not a factual hypothesis connected to the evidence in ways that other factual claims are. However, this raised questions about whether belief in God is meaningful. Although it probably is, more serious questions were then raised about whether it is rational. The challenge for believers is to account for how they can claim to know that God in fact exists, given the ambiguity of the evidence for his existence in the world.